Hello and welcome to the 4-player gameplay of Clash of Cultures. I hope that through the videos you will come to have some ideas of the kind of player interactions and dynamics this game encourages, and also the fun that this game provides. I will be controlling all 4 cultures, the red, green, blue, and yellow. But I will only show you the objective and action cards from the green player and not the other players, so that you will feel as if you are only playing as the green player against the other 3 gamers. I also assume you have some basic understanding of how the game is played, and hopefully after watching this playthrough, you can also see if you or your group will enjoy this game. Lastly, you'll notice that the map setup is different from the rulebook. This particular map is from the Board Game Geek forum and it's a smaller map. I just prefer it because I like more interaction between the cultures. And alright, without further ado, let's get started. So the green player is the first player. And let's look at the action card and objective cards. So for the action card, we have Mercenaries. As an action, use barbarians to attack another player's city. Both one of your cities and the target city must be within 2 spaces of the chosen barbarian settlement. Normal barbarian combat rules apply. And for the tactic portion, it says for the people, if you are defending a city, add 1 die to your combat roll. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't think I mentioned already, but for the green player, he's gonna focus on more military strategy, so trying to build up a lot of military to conquer other players' cities. And for the other cultures, some of them will be doing the culture strategy, and another one will be doing another military strategy. So I'm gonna just show you different kinds of strategies that you can use in this game and how they'll work out. And let's look at the objective. Merchant. You have all 4 economics events. Yeah, that's not very helpful in the strategy here, but we'll see. And Marauder. Immediately after a battle where you eliminated a settler or a ship that was part of a trade route, see trade routes events. It's kind of dependent on the other player to have that trade route, but we'll see. I don't think we can complete the top part, but we'll see if we can do the bottom part. Okay. So here we have the starting setup for the green culture. We get the typical farming and also the mining. And what I want to do is get fishing. And because when you build a port, you can actually collect a mood token from the sea space, adjacent sea space. And a lot of warfare and autocracy, which are the military advances, they use a lot of mood tokens. So I want to start collecting them as early as I can. Let me show you here. So what I'm gonna do here is to explore first with my settler, and hopefully we'll find a sea space. And that way we can build a city around there, get the fishing events, and build my port. We'll see how that goes. So first step, let's move here, I believe. Yeah, okay, let's see what happens. The good and the bad. The good, we do have a sea space. Okay, but the bad, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a barbarian symbol here, so I had to put a barbarian. So doesn't really matter which way. Oh, it does. I cannot put it this way because my setter will drown, so I had to put it this way. Interesting. Let me think about this. Okay, so I've thought about it long and hard. I think I'm gonna just put the barbarian village over here. Okay. And that way I can use my action card. Oh, if I can see that, but it allows me to use the barbarian to attack another player. So hopefully the blue or something will come closer and then I can use the card to attack it. I'm not too worried about barbarian attacking just yet because it only attacks when the event is triggered, and right now it's pretty hard for anyone to trigger an event right now. So not as worried about that right now. For my second action, I'm gonna go ahead and get the spend 2 food. So gonna move it all the way to 0 here. And gonna get the fishing events. So that increases my happiness level by 1 right here. And I also get a mood token. And I'm gonna use it right away to do a civic improvement on my city. Okay. And hopefully next turn, I'm gonna explore with my settler again. And hopefully it's gonna be another sea space there. And we can build a city there and build a port there as well. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so gonna do a civic improvement, increase the happiness of the city. So next time I can collect 2 resources from there. Next turn. Okay. So for Red's turn, and like I said, Red is also gonna take a military strategy towards the game. And they do have 2 action, 2 objective, but we don't know what it is. Well, I know, but you guys don't. So first action, I think he's also gonna explore this region right here. So he's gonna move on to here, and we'll see what that is. Here we go. Oh, another barbarian tile. Oh, this is the sea. Doesn't really matter which way you go. So that's, well, we really don't have any choice. We have to put the barbarian on the fertile ground. So let's do that. Here we go. Okay. So that kind of sucked. Not what I was hoping for, but that's the game. Gotta deal with whatever the game throws at you. So for the second action, we're gonna spend the 2 food. And we'll get the irrigation events. So unlike the green player, Red is gonna play a little bit safe here and prevent the famine from happening. So now we have that. We increase the happiness level by 1 and we get a happiness token, which again we'll use directly to increase the happiness of one of the cities there. And here we go. All happy now. So that's all 3 actions. That's it for red. Let's move on to yellow. So it's yellow's turn and he's looking at red and green and he's like, whoa, there's 2 barbarians already. Maybe I shouldn't explore so soon. So he's gonna be a little bit more conservative. He's gonna spend his food token, food, to get the irrigation. Let's grab that cube there. Okay, so right here. So he increased the happiness by 1 level right here. Okay, and also gets a happiness token which he will use right away for civic improvement. And he's gonna gain 2 more food right back, and that's fairly simple right here. And we'll see what I think. Yellow is gonna try to go for a cultural sort of influence strategy, but we'll see how that works out. Now let's move to the blue player's turn. So the blue player, seeing what the yellow player did, decides to do exactly the same thing. He's gonna spend 2 food token to get the irrigation events, which if I can get a cube out, that would be great. Right here. So increase the happiness level by 1 and get a mood token which he'll use right away for civic improvement on his city. And he's gonna collect resource to get the 2 food back. Just like that. You'll find out if you play this game many times, sometimes in the first round, there's really not much you can do, so other players will just pretty much end up doing the same thing, and that is fine. But as we go to later rounds, things will become quite different. Alright, so let's go back to the green player and start our second turn of the first round. Okay, so at turn 2 of round 1, and it's green player's turn again, and I really don't like that barbarian there, but I mean, as long as I don't trigger an event, they're not gonna attack me at all. So, and I need to have a happiness level of 3 or culture level of 3, which I'm still quite a bit of distance away. So I think we can ignore the barbarians just for now. And also later we can use the mercenary card too, which allows me to use the barbarian as an action, use a barbarian to attack another player's city. So that could be quite useful too. So what I'm gonna do is the green is gonna explore more with the settlers right here. So it's gonna go into that space. Let's see what that is. Oh, excellent. So I cannot do it this way because my settler would drown. So I have to do it like this. So more sea space. That's just excellent because sea space is just exactly what I need to build a port. Now this is interesting because I had planned to use the settler to found a city there, but instead of doing that, I could just use this settler here to... Oh, you know what? I still need to found a city there. But in order to build a port, I need to have 2 cities, so I can increase my city size to 2. So, but first we're gonna use this city to collect. We'll collect 2 wood and 1 wood and 1 ore. And later we're gonna collect a food so that we can build a port there. And why not? Let's just build a new city right there. And that's it. That's all my actions. So I did 1 movement, 1 resource collection, and I founded a new city. And now I have 2 cities, so next turn I can build a port. So on red player's turn, he is going to use his happy city to collect 2 food right here. And he's gonna use the 2 food right away to get the writing events. Okay, so there's a reason he's doing that, and I'll show you in just a little bit. Okay, so now his culture level goes up 1. Okay, and he also gets a culture token, which he will use right away. What can you use culture token for? Well, other than cultural influence, you can actually also play a card right here. So I don't know if you can read this, but it says, as an action, and you have to pay a culture token for it, you can refill a region next to a region with one of your cities, and you can get a free settler in a city of your choice. So that's what he's gonna play. So let's take a look. So red is gonna refill a region, and the only possible one would be here. So let's take a look at what this is. Well, I didn't move a settler, so nobody's gonna drown. But as per the game rule, the sea space has to face the edge of the board, so I had to place it this way. Okay, right there. Okay, and we also get a free settler, and there's only 1 city, so we can only place it here. Okay, that's not too bad. So the yellow player really hasn't explored at all, but you can see he has a happy city, and he just doesn't want to get involved with this whole barbarian issue, so he's actually gonna keep on. So first gonna collect resource. Sorry, not collect resource. He's gonna use his 2 food to get a new events, and then collect resource from this city right here. So 2 food, and then build another events. So let's take a look. So I think he just really wants to get the sanitation because, you know, everybody likes to be clean and they don't want plague or epidemic spreading around. So spend 2 food right there. And let's get the cubes out if I can. And right at engineering. Okay. Now, I will show you the top wonder in a little bit. But now he's gonna use because usually you get engineering, you have to reveal the top wonder card, which I will do in a little bit for you guys. And now he's gonna use the city to collect 2 food again, and just to use it right away to get another events. So he's gonna put it back and get the sanitation events, which actually requires the engineering as a prerequisite. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother with engineering at this point. So the happiness level increased by 1 again, and he gets another mood token. So here's the wonder that got drawn out. So look how expensive it is. 5 ore, 3 lumber, 3 food, and 5 culture tokens. It requires siegecraft as well. And barbarians cannot attack any of your cities. Oh, I'm sure red and green would like that right now. And players cannot attack your cities with fortress unless they have siegecraft. Okay. Actually, that's pretty good. They can probably use it to protect their own cities against the military. Except anybody can build this wonder at this point, so it's hard to say who's gonna get it. And I don't think anybody has enough resource to build anything right now, so we'll see what happens. Alright, so that's it for yellow. Alright, so it's now blue's turn. I think he's now feeling a little bit adventurous and just want to go out and explore the big wide world. But he doesn't really want to go towards where the barbarians are, so I think he's gonna go the other way over there, see what's over there. So let's see here. We're gonna move it this way. Okay, and let's see what we have there. So I cannot place it like this because my settler would drown. So I had to place it this way, but thank goodness there's no barbarians here. So that's all. I just messed up the board. I'll fix that. Alright, I fixed the board. Let's explore one more time, see what's on the edge tile right over there. And then maybe it will be a good place to found a city there. So let's see, it matters if I place it here or there. Let's see, 1, 2. I think we're gonna go here. So let's move it over here to avoid some conflicts. And no barbarians. Yes, no barbarians. But again, I cannot place it here because my settler, oh, you probably can see it. Cannot place it here because the settler would drown. So I had to place it like so, right here. Okay, there we go. And my settler is right there. Okay, so that's 2 actions. And why not? Might as well just, get a new city. So, oops, kick the camera there. So I'm gonna do this, get rid of the settler, and we're gonna get a new second city for blue. And there we go. And that's the end of turn 2. Let's go ahead back to green and look at turn 3. Okay, so turn 3 of round 1. Man, I put so much thought into this. About what to do. So I think what I'm gonna do is, right now I have 1 lumber and 1 ore. I'm going to use this happy city to collect, let's see, what do I want to collect? Let's collect, I definitely need 1 food. So I need 1 food. And let's see here. Let's collect 2 food. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna use this city to collect 2 food. That's my first action. And my second action, we're gonna use the 1 lumber, 1 ore, and 1 food to build a port for the other city. This one right here. Okay, right there. Yeah, I can do that because I have 2 cities, so I can build a size 2 city right now. And my final action, right now I only have 1 food. So what I'm gonna do is use this city again to activate it. So this is gone. It's now a neutral city because I overworked it. But it still collects me 2 resources. And I'm gonna choose, one of them is gonna be the ore, so I can build the army unit. And the other one is either lumber or food. I think I'm gonna go food. So right now I have 2 food and 1 lumber. That didn't work out exactly how I planned, but that's okay. So next turn, I'm just gonna build some army units to deal with the barbarians there, because they're kind of annoying me right there. Alright, so for the red player's turn, I think we're gonna use the happy city to collect some food right here. And then we're gonna spend it to get the events, which I will show you right here. Bartering. So it allows me to exchange resources into gold or culture tokens, or a mix, but that's not really what I'm after. I'm really after the currency, which leads me to taxation. So the idea is to have a bunch of, because Red has a lot of settlers right now. So the idea is to have a bunch of small cities, and then as an action and pay 1 Mu token, you can get 1 gold for each city you have. So that's like a collect action, except you don't activate a city, and you get a lot of wildcard resource. I think that's pretty good. But we're not quite there yet. So for the time being, we're going to increase the happiness level by 1. And we'll also get a happiness token for red right here. Okay. So we're just gonna move the settlers a little bit further along the way. Remember, you can move up to 3 units 1 space in your move action. So I just moved 2 of my units 1 space each. Okay. And I'm a little bit worried about the barbarian attack, but again, as long as the event doesn't trigger, the barbarian will not attack me. And also, I mean, even if I do trigger event, it's not like every card has barbarian attack on it, so I'm not too worried right now. And later, when I build a lot of cities and when I get taxation, hopefully that'll start getting all the gold coming in, and I'll be pretty economically stable that way. Okay, so Yellow's thinking, after all that time spent on researching, maybe it is time to do some explorations. And he doesn't really quite want to go to the center where all the actions are, with the barbarians and the red players there. He can either go to this way, where the blue player is, and looks quite peaceful there, or he can just sort of go this way. I kind of want to know what this side tile is, because you can see all the edge tiles has not been explored. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna go towards the center. So what we're gonna do is just explore, let's see, this tile right here. Let's do that. So that's the first action, movement. Oh, you know what? It doesn't have to be this way, because that's not the edge of the board. So I can technically move it towards the center. Why don't we do that? That looks a little bit interesting. Should I, or should I get a port? You know what? Let's make a little tiny pond in the center of the map. I think that would look interesting. Explored, I think. I explored this way. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now, because my settler is on the mountain, I cannot move this turn anymore. So I guess I'll just use the city to collect some resources and get another event possibly. Let's take a look. Okay, so first thing first, we're gonna collect 2 food right here. And now, I think the yellow's gonna go to the cultural route here. So he's gonna invest into the culture category, get the art and sculptures. So later when he tries to do cultural influence, you can just pay an extra culture token and take the action at no action cost, which is very nice. So we're gonna increase the culture level by 1 to 1, and we get a culture token. Alright, lastly for blue player, I think they're gonna start building out their own religion and become devoted believers. So they're gonna spend the 2 food token first, and just to get the myth. So this way they can start building temples in the next round. So here we go. And because of that, their culture So you can pay one mood token to avoid reducing a city's mood due to an event card. But that's okay. So I'm gonna increase the mood by 1 and get a mood token right here. Okay. And that's first action. Second action, I'm gonna use one of the happy city to collect 2 food right here. And guess what? Gonna use that one again. And we're gonna get the state religion events. So let's take a look here. State religion. So when we increase city size, we can build a temple without paying any food. So basically, temple now only costs 1 wood and 1 lumber and 1 ore. And now we trigger the first event of the game because now we have to increase the happiness level by 1, which triggers an event. But we also get a free, well, not free, but we also get another mood token. So let's take a look at what the event card is. Okay, so we drew the Great Discoverer. Put this card on the table. The first player to pay 1 culture token on his turn may, as an action, both get a free maritime advance and refill any unrefilled region adjacent to a region where the player has a city. The player may then pay 2 food to place a city on that region, then discard this card. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Well, too bad nobody can use it right now because, well, nobody else has any actions left. But you do notice there's a little symbol here. That means I need to put exhausted token on one of the regions nearby the blue city. And that region, no more resource can be collected from it, unfortunately. So, let's see. Let's move it to the center there. So what did I do? I get an fence, I collect it. Yeah, okay, that's right. So I cannot place on the barren lands here, but any other land space is fair game. I think I'm just gonna place it. It's such a tough decision. I'll just put it on the mountain space here, so that no more ore can be collected. Or I don't know. Maybe I'll put it here instead. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Sort of off to the edge. Okay, so that's it for the first round. We're gonna get into status phase. So for the first status phase, we had to check if anybody completed any objectives. And for us, not even close. We don't have a single economics events. I don't think we're ever gonna complete this one. And I checked all the other players too, and none of them have any completed objectives either. And it's quite normal for the first round. Nobody's gonna complete any objectives in the first round to begin with. So that's fine. And now everybody receives a free event now. So that's gonna be interesting. So for green, what we are gonna do is get the tactics events. And that increases our culture level by 1. So both our happiness and culture level are at 1 right now. And we'd receive a free culture token. And we're getting this because next round we're gonna get ready to build some armies, and you need the tactics to move the armies to attack the barbarians so that they don't threaten us. And also when you attack barbarians, you also get some free gold. Well, not free, you had to work for it, but you get some gold. For red, they are going to continue on the economics category and get the currency. They can either get currency or trade routes actually. But since there's no city nearby right now, it makes more sense to get currency and we can get trade routes afterwards. So they increase because we're trying to get the taxation. Because we have a lot of settlers right now, so that might not be a bad idea. Because taxation allows us to get some gold by paying 1 mood token there. So that's what they're gonna do. And as such, we increase our culture by 1 level. So both happiness and culture are at level 2 right now. Yes, that's correct. And we get a free culture token. Well, not really free, but for the yellow player, since they just discovered a sea space, I think they're going to invest into some fishing right now. So here we go. There we go. And now the happiness level is now 3, so that's gonna be an event. But he also gets a mood token as well. Okay, this is interesting. So we got a fine year. You, which is the yellow player, gain 1 food. So we had no food before and now we have 1. And let's adjust that. Okay. And select another player who also gains 1 food. Okay. I cannot select the green player because they have no more room for food. They don't have the storage events. I can either give to the blue player or the red player. Okay, so let's see here. And also, this symbol means we have to place a new barbarian settlement along with the barbarian within 2 space of one of my cities. So I can give 1 food to either the red player or the blue player on the other side. And this is unexplored region, so technically I'm still cut off from the blue players. And the red player is sort of close to the yellow player. So I don't really want to help my neighbor right now in case they try something military against the yellow player. So we're gonna go ahead and increase the food for the blue player, who is sort of separated from the yellow player by this unexplored region here. So let's give the blue player 1 food. Right there. Okay. Now, I need to place a new barbarian settlement within 2 space. So it can be any of these. Oh, not this one. This is barren land, but any of these spaces. And not here because it's the settlers here, or here. Now, if I put it here, it pretty much blocks my way to there. But it also blocks the red from coming over here, sort of. I mean, if they want to come over this way, then they have to deal with the barbarians here. So that may not be such a bad idea, I think. So that's what we're gonna try to do. So it's within 2 space, right? So that's fine. And now, in addition to that, we also need to place 1 more barbarian in either this settlement, that settlement, or that one at the farthest. And again, you and red are sort of neighbors here, so they don't really want to piss off red. But then green is so far away, so I think what we're gonna do is place the additional barbarian in that settlement right there. Okay. So here we go. 2 barbarians right there. Now green has a handful to deal with, but fortunately so far there's been no barbarian attacks yet. So blue is fairly simple. They're just gonna keep going down this track to get a theocracy government. And when you build a new temple, you also get a free theocracy events. So that's pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right there. If I can get the cubes out. There we go. Okay. Alright, so everybody has now got their free events. Okay, so that's the end of the first round. And we're gonna draw 1 more new action card and 1 new objective card for each of the players. And I'll show you those cards at the end of the video. And nobody wants to get rid of their size 1 cities at this point. And now we'll determine the first player. Now, green was the first player, but now its happiness level and culture level is only at combined 2. Whereas the red has a combined level of 4, and yellow also has 4, and blue has 3. So red gets to decide who the first player is, and obviously they're gonna pick themselves. So next round, red will be the new first player. Alright, that's it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed it and sort of got to see how the game works and if it has any fun for you guys. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.